Hello there, this is Bic Benedict for playing Max Payne 3 on old school difficulty, and this is chapter 13 of 14, and this is the second time that I've had to commentate this video, and I will explain the reason for that right now. I had, for what it's worth, I've done the whole guide. You know, chapter 14's finished. It'll be live commentary. It's very enjoyable coming up in the next video. It's, I think, 35 minutes, 30 minutes of commentary, excuse me. I just want to stop playing this game. I hate this game at this point. I just want to stop. And there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just the fact that I had to come back to this after everything was already all finished. So the next video, 30 minutes of live commentary and 5 minutes for the boss fight at the end, which it turned out to be not hard. Somewhat challenging, I should say, but just not like the ordeal that I thought it would be. So I uploaded chapter 13. You know, everything was fine from my end, and I don't know if it was YouTube's problem, but I honestly don't think it was. I had this whole video made, and only like the first few minutes appeared, and then the rest of the 20 minutes was just a black screen and no audio, and certainly no video except for that black screen. So yeah, there's really nothing worse than thinking you're finished with something, moving on, and then realizing that what you thought you finished needs to be you have to go back to it and finish it up, and it's just like you don't want to do it. It's like, I'm done with this. I had to re-download this game, and I was actually going to download the MP4 from YouTube of my last guide for this chapter and just call it quits that way, and upload the same video. And another part of me just wanted to just leave it as it was on. Like the lazy part of me just wanted to just leave it on, just have the black screen be the whole fucking video. I didn't even care. But this chapter is so goddamn hard. And the funny thing is, it wasn't hard when I did it the first time. It's just because I'm trying to force the victory, just finish it up, just get it fucking done with. Because it was all wrapped up, it was all sealed. It was a sealed fucking deal. Not anymore though. So I do get all the clues in this chapter. The first clue is the guy at the strip joint. You'll see him in the prison. You can shoot him if you like. And anyway, but I thought to myself, this is not a channel that was founded on laziness and doing things only halfway to completion. So I said to myself, I'll just download it again, take a few hours to do it all, and be done with it and be happy with it. So I don't want any negativity to gloss over this video, because it actually is a hard chapter and it's fun too. But you'll probably see some frame rate issues because my 3.0 USB PCIe card failed me, so I had to remove it, and now I cannot play and record without lag until I get another 3.0 USB cable. Because if you don't use one of those fast transfer cables with the 3.0, you get lag. I mean, I get lag. And I actually did install an SSD in my PS4. I picked up a 500 gig one for 175. I put it in there, and it did absolutely nothing. It didn't increase the loading times. All it did was just expedite the menu shifting and some of the like, do you know how, like, say for instance like God of War, when you go to a save point, it just expedites the saving process. It doesn't make the game go faster. So I'm really tempted to take the, I removed that card, and now I'm going to put that in my PC, but I really don't know how to, like, put the operating system on an SSD drive, and you know, I just don't want anything to mess up, and I think I'm just going to have to do, you know, a fresh install of the operating system, whether it's Windows 7 or Windows 10. I'm so sick of Windows 10. It's not as, how do you make an operating system that's slower than the previous one? I guess they're good at that because they made a Xbox One that's slower than the 360, isn't it? But the PS4, I've got to get it credit. It's a really good system. I mean, it's sleek, it's clean, and I would not recommend putting an SSD drive in the PS4. It's just, it's not. It doesn't do what I thought it would do. But I think on my PS4, on my what the fuck am I talking about? I think on my PC will actually do a lot more. But that's besides the point, I think. But hard. There's one section, like, none of these sections, none of them gave me trouble until I had to go back and finish the guide. And I think it's a good testament to the, like, there's a lot of people, you know, liking this guide. I mean, a lot of people, more people like this guide than I thought would like it. So I didn't want to just leave a black screen for everybody. Like, what kind of fucking content creator does that? But I was going to, and what I mean is, I was just going to leave the, see, I had a black, the video with the black screen, I had uploaded it to YouTube, and I just didn't even look at it until this morning. I looked at it, and then it was all a black screen, and I said, you know, the lazy part just said, just leave it. just fucking leave it. And then, you know, I could have just downloaded the MP4 and put it in Sony Vegas with an introduction, and I could have done that, and that would have been acceptable. But I just wanted to have, you know, what I wanted to have from the beginning, just old school difficulty, no healing. Here's the passport. No, what is that? That is the some kind of an OMI receipt, or what are those called? IOUs or something shitty, man. No checkpoint over here, guys, so you gotta be really careful. So what's coming out in the world of gaming lately? Nothing to speak of. However, I am aware of Transformers Devastation by Platinum Games. I'm going to be picking that up for sure. I'll be getting the Uncharted collection, the Nathan Drake collection, and I will be doing all of those on brutal difficulty, if that's what the difficulty's called. And this part's pretty tough too, just because of the smoke. There really isn't. And I also picked up a new game on the PS4 that is both new to me, and it's actually fairly new too. So I was wanting to start on that, but now it's delayed a little bit till I finish this. And I won't say what it is, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I have tried to play Max Payne. The first Max Payne, I gave it as long as I've given it ever. Which is to say, it was my second time trying Max Payne, and I stuck with it more than I stuck with it before, but it was still something that I couldn't really start to enjoy. I used to play old games exclusively, like the side-scrollers, Castlevania, Contra, you know, all the old games, even Mario Brothers, and I'm talking about like Contra 3 and any Contra really. But once you're playing new games for a long time, it's hard to get back into the old ones. And it looks like a really good game. It's just I just can't get into it, and I don't think I'll ever play it, to be honest. And I also have what's it called, God Hand on there too, but I'll never play that either. So this is the section that there's just nowhere to fucking go here for good cover, and there's a heavy that comes out, and the guy goes crazy. So this part here, what I would recommend is to bring in the previous room. What you want to do is grab another handgun in the room where the enemy came out of before, and dual wield on this section so you could deal more damage. And when you do that, you're gonna have to drop the bigger gun that you have, but you can pick it up here. And this is all very pattern based. The enemies stay in their particular offices, and this guy always comes out a little bit. And just watch when the heavy comes out. See, the problem here is that, like, you'll go through the door and you can't shoot the door open and try to like fall back, because you can brush it open, but you're completely vulnerable in there. So you kind of just have to come in this room. And here's the ugly ass fucking heavy with a great gun, which we're gonna get from him. But just, ah man, you have to just keep shooting this guy in the head. That's all there is to do. Just keep shooting him in the head and let him do his burst fire and then stop. Look at this, he's ducking and weaving. He's ducking and fucking weaving. So like on Spec Ops: The Line, I remember these heavies would get stuck behind the geometry, but not so. This guy, he's pretty aggressive. I mean, just look at him go. Fucking bitch of a heavy, man. This room was causing me to scream, and when I did this before, like last week or whenever I did, I have no recollections of struggles. None. And this room probably took me an hour this time, just because it always works that way. And I hate that. So there's another clue. Another clue's over here as well. So I think there's like 3 clues left.
About the only friend I had left in that town.
Okay, the next clue is the slideshow, and you probably have to interact with all the slides, but since I've already got them, I just decided to bail out on it. And then we'll come in here, get another checkpoint. I really like this level. Whenever you're trying to force something, it doesn't like to fit, you know? So what else to say? Yeah, the reason I decided to do live commentary in the last chapter, what was the reason? I don't really know. I think I just had some free time. I think another reason was because that I promised at some point that I would have some live commentary, so I wanted to have it somewhere for you guys, and it's a fun video. You'll like it. And, oh, I did want to mention something about the final boss that I neglect to say on the final boss or anywhere in the next video. I thought that it would be harder if, instead of like bringing a bunch of good weapons into that fight, it would be harder to like just to jump into the particular checkpoint with the default weapons that they give you. I thought that they just gave you one gun, but they give you several guns. And when I say in the next video that it probably would have been harder if I had just jumped into the checkpoint rather than carrying weapons into the fight, it's the same. I did it both ways. And I mean, you can bring some pretty good weapons into that fight, but the stuff that they give you is good. It's really good. It's helpful, and like you shouldn't struggle on it that much. Not with what they give you. I mean, if they just give you like one Uzi, it might be a problem, but they give you, I think they give you a handgun, an Uzi, and an assault rifle, so it's really good. So we've got some more smoke to deal with here. Usually these guys are going to rush you a little bit. And I think what some of the commentary that I said before in this particular chapter was just to advertise this game a little bit and to let you know, like, if you've never played this game before, and I hope I didn't say this elsewhere, but I think I said it in the video that just got ruined, but if you know the street scene from Heat, it's a really spectacular and just heart-pounding scene. It's mesmerizing. Every fight in this game is that street scene on Heat for me, and like every fight with the music and the intensity of it. So if you like that kind of intensity, I think you'll love this game. I mean, it's got style and intensity and really good mechanics and gameplay. I mean, this type of style in a game is so rare. But it's just really slick. So, this part over here, you will, let's see, you will need to kill everybody. So you'll kill everybody, and then you'll get a cinematic where it slows down, and then you'll get a checkpoint over here for yourself. And the last clue is the flak jacket, the flak vest coming up here. And I honestly don't think it gives you any HP protection. I think it's just for aesthetics. That would be interesting to know if it did, but I died a lot after having got it, and it just didn't seem like it was giving me any protection or anything like that. I may be wrong about that, but I don't know. Maybe it gives you a small, like 5% protection or something. I don't know.
Still nothing to show for it. It felt like I was detaching. That maybe this was revenge for something else.
So it looks like we're in the ammunition room right now. I need to get some water, you guys. There's a flak jacket. There's the door. There's a boss fight on this chapter as well, and it's not that difficult unless you don't know where you're supposed to shoot. So when you come on down here, there is going to be an enemy up in that man tower, that tower up there, whatever it is, manning this upper platform. So you want to take him down, and then there's going to be some guys to the left. So you exploit the cover here and just take these guys down as best you can. Another reason is just because these guys have a lot of body armor. Most of the enemies in this game, they'll have helmets and vests and things like that. So it looks like we're up to like 17 minutes here on the commentaries. So I wanted to mention that because I asked a couple of people. Haddo answered, as well as I think Dennis Carter, a couple of good subscribers. They were just mentioning that, and also the guy that's been commenting on a lot of my God of War videos. Dude, he'll know who he is. He was commenting on some God of War 1 videos and things like that. So if you know who you are, so just comment, and you can get your recognition. But I really am. I'm lucky to have such great subscribers, because everybody, after I posted a message on one of my Resident Evil videos today that I unlisted or unprivatized, I just asked, what would you guys like? What should I do it over, or should I just leave it be? And everybody was just, very mellow about it. They said, do whatever you want to. No reason to give yourself extra work. Everybody was very accommodating and accepting, and I really appreciate that, because like I really am lucky to have you guys. So thank you very much. I mean, there's not a lot of dickheads on this channel that would just say, no, you better fucking do what you need to do, or I'm gonna start unsubbing, But just be very careful here, because if you don't pass by this guy without living, you're gonna have yourself caught in a world of pain. Okay, so this is the target room. And you can actually hit these guys behind the slats if you want to. Enemies will rush you. And I mean it, see? Enemies will rush you. It's not just one. You'll have several of these guys coming up to do a little meet and greet with you. But you should be able to end that. Where's my fucking water? But yeah, the next video will be rife with expletives. Yeah, I love that. I just love that. And a couple more guys over here. You're not going to see a cinematic. Oh my god. Everything I say gets contradicted like the instant I say it. But I thought that one of the cinematics happens over here, so my bad about that. So coming up on the boss fight pretty soon, it is going to matter what you bring to that fight. Just because he does have a couple of lackeys, I think 2 at set intervals. And this is pretty dangerous over here. There is not any checkpoint, so you've got to be very careful. And if these guys decide to rush you, you might be in some pretty bad jeopardy. But there's the last guy falling down. And after we make our way up here, we're going to be on the second to last checkpoint. So it's up to you. I would not jump down this early in the fight. There's 2 guys taken care of. The next spawn, what's going to happen is the next spawn, you'll see it when I go down the stairs. If you don't see it, you'll hear it. But see the gunfire right there? And usually this guy is hiding down there. So that's the 3rd guy over here. And with his spawn, you'll have some more stragglers over here. And this is a very safe area to stand. I imagine that if you gave it enough time, they would come up here. But they tend to just go behind cover. And there is an ammo cache on the opposite side of the room, but we're not exactly in a position where we can grab that. And I think I do fly down, but when I did that, I didn't really know what I was flying down into. So we'll just have to see if I fly down. Yeah, I flew down to meet this guy, hoping he would be the last guy, but evidently he's not. So we're gonna have to do some bullet time down here. And do you see that amount of damage right there on hardcore? It would you'd be dead if you didn't have any revives. I think the reason I got so frustrated was just the fact that, you know, I had moved on to another project, and to have to come back to a project, there really is nothing worse than that. I know it's not a first world problem or anything like that. It's the past tugging at you to come back when you don't want to. Here's the cache over here of ammo. Be wary of, like, see the server we're behind? It's just not very good cover. And then we're gonna have that boss fight that I mentioned. So each time he sends some lackeys your way, you're gonna have to take care of them. And I just don't think there's any justification for lackeys. I mean, at least there's not that many of them though. So there's this guy here, this guy there, a pair of shitbags. And then you're gonna need to hit the ceiling panels, and the one you need to hit is the one with the light on it. So keep hitting it when he stops firing. And the cover over there to the right is not very good because you're gonna have some of the office partitions right in your way. And the idea here is that he's holed up there, and we can't hit him until we drop 2 of the, I think, air conditioning units on top of him. So there's the first phase taken care of. There is no checkpoint, even though you see him running around. No checkpoint, and then they put you out of cover in a really unfortunate piece of event. It's just you're behind cover, and then you're just out of cover. Screw you. Get back into cover in the slow way that he goes into cover in the first place. But here's me going into this cover, and you can kind of see that it's at a bad angle, very bad angle, because he's like right diagonal to us. So do your shooting dodges over here, hit that air conditioning unit, drop it on him, and then the second you get the opportunity, shoot him, and it's only a single hit that will usher you in to chapter 14, and this has been chapter 13 for the second time, but it was my pleasure because I'm a hardworking guy and I like to give you guys quality content. Take care.